Hello everybody, welcome back to Matty Reacts, the channel where we take a look at things we've never watched or listened to before. And today we're taking a look at a band that I have definitely heard before, but that we've definitely not covered on the channel before. We've not really had much of an opportunity to, and that is because this is the Rasmus, Creatures of Chaos. Now, I've mentioned my age a couple of times on channel, but I am in my mid-30s. So when I was, but a young teenager, that was exactly when In the Shadows was released. That was exactly when Guilty was released. And it was kind of around the era that I was starting to listen to more sort of rock-based music. I've not made any secret of the fact that I was a 90s pop kid growing up. I collected Smash Hits magazine. I was really into my pop songs. I still am really into my pop songs, which is why I cover a lot of them on this channel. But it was around this time that I sort of started listening to a bit more Sum 41, Some Good Charlotte, and then this song was kind of like a big crossover hit because it was this big sort of rock song, but it was everywhere. It was on all of the music channels because that's how you got your music back then. There was no Spotify. That's how you discovered new acts, really, was either listening to the radio or watching the music channels. And this was on all of the music channels. It was on every channel. It wasn't just on the rock channels. So yeah, it was a time period that I look back on very fondly, and I really liked both of those two big singles. I did listen to the album back in the day. I'd never owned it though, but I think those two singles were the standout tracks from the album anyway. Obviously, most of the time you do release your standout tracks as your singles. Then I didn't really listen to them much. The occasional song would come into my awareness. Until they represented at Eurovision a couple of years ago, and I was it maybe Jezebel the song was called, something like that. Again, really good song, not as good as In the Shadows or Guilty, and that was kind of the last I saw of them for another few years. And now we're here, and this popped up on my new releases feed, and I just thought I've got to cover it because they are just a band that I associate with such a specific time in my life, and I need to know if, like, when they're not trying to be on a Eurovision sort of pop program, do they still sound like what they used to sound like, and do they still wear feathers in their hair? That is the main two things we're going to look for in this video. So let's see if we get an answer to either of them. Are you a weirdo? Join us. Oh, that's a really dirty bass. Oh, that riff. Oh. Before we get to the chorus, got to do it. So we haven't quite got our answer to do they sound like they used to sound back in the day. I think they sound a little heavier in the verse. The chorus will be the sort of it will let us know really if they're the same kind of band as they used to be. But question 2 has been answered. No, he doesn't have feathers in his hair, but he does have a feather hoodie on. So that's kind of the same thing, in my opinion. It's like paying homage to the olden days where they used to wear feathers in their hair. No, he has got a feather in his head. I was wrong. So yeah, this is, I would say, a heavier song than anything I've listened to before by them. Because, like I say, In the Shadows was a great song, and Guilty was a great song, and the Eurovision song was a great song, but none of them were really. This is a really sort of driving, dirty sort of groovy riff that they're and I don't mean groovy like groovy baby. It's you know what I mean. It really makes you feel something. But also that means that the vocals are also down there. He's you can tell he's trying to put a lot of sort of grit and texture in his voice, which is working. But it also means that there's no sort of soaring high notes like there were in the earlier songs. That might be a choice. That might be because he's older and his voice doesn't do that anymore. I'm not quite sure, but it's still a good song. It's just not quite the same as old the Rasmus, but it has been, what, 20 something years since those songs came out. So that makes sense. It's been a while. Ooh, breakdown. Okay.
Psychos, we will catch the fallen angel. Creatures of chaos, that's how they made us. We are contagious, the future's afraid of us.
Ooh, that drum fill. That drum fill was like the equivalent of getting airtime on a roller coaster. It made you sort of. It was really, really nice. Oh, he's got contact. Very interesting. And there's the feather. Interesting indeed. Yeah, I'm not going to keep going over it. I think it was a really good song. It was a lot heavier than I was expecting. It was a lot heavier than they used to be. Now, I know that the Rasmus fans out there are going to find this reaction and they're going to go, what on earth are you talking about? They've been this heavy for ages. I haven't heard anything in ages, so I do apologise. If there's anything you think I might like, drop titles in the comments, and even if I don't do reactions, I will check out some more songs in my own time. I might do a couple of reactions as well, who knows. But yeah, it was really, really good. It reminded me of him, the songs I've heard by him, like Wings of a Butterfly, things like that. In terms of it was sort of a lower tuned sound, and yeah, it was just I really enjoyed it because I really like Wings of a Butterfly. One of my favorite songs from that time period as well. That was 2005. Wings of a Butterfly came out, so very similar time frames because the Rasmus's sort of big songs were, I think, like 0203 maybe. I'm gonna have to look that up now, aren't I? Feels about right. In the Shadows, sung by the Rasmus, 2003. Yeah, pretty much bob on. So yeah, they were a very similar sort of time in music, and you can maybe see that they've been influenced by each other. They're both, Scandi rock acts, I suppose. So not that all Scandi rock acts sound the same, but Scandi rock acts from the same time period probably share some common bands that they all listened to growing up. So you're going to see some similarities. Yeah, really enjoyed that. But yeah, thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you again in another reaction video very soon.